So your camouflage, I mean, it doesn't really matter too much. I've unlocked this phantom one. If you ever do unlock it, I recommend using it because it works the best on any map. But I mean, depending on the map and the colors in that map, I'll go ahead and choose whichever pattern I think looks the most. Um, you can also, customize your parachute. I usually keep it on something blue. That way, I really want to unlock that one, the blue sky. But it's harder for people to see you parachuting in if your parachute is blue. So that's why I usually do that. But anyways, the field upgrades, I go defensive on most of them. Just because, these all 4 levels aren't guaranteed. Your whole squad is what allows you to get certain levels. So the longer your whole squad stays alive, you progress to each level. But no matter what, level 1, you get reduced income damage to the chest by 10%. So that lets you take, I think, 3 extra bullets, which can be life or death. And that means level 1, you always have that. So no matter what, I usually keep defensive. If I'm playing hardcore though, I'll go offensive just because then I can get level 2 for the ammo, which you get 50% extra bullets. Knife, doesn't matter. Just pick whichever one you think looks the fucking coolest. I really like this BJ2. I really like the smoke and the flashbang. These are my favorite grenades. So gadgets for assault, I use the first aid pack and the defibrillator. The defibrillator, if you charge it up and revive them at 100% health, you get 100 points. So I get fucking double the points I used to just from reviving people, and it only takes a couple seconds. The first aid pack, a lot of people use this medic bag, but I use the first aid pack because if you throw one on the ground, you don't have to stand near it. You pick it up and you regain health on the move. And it goes 10, 20, 30, 40, and it regains it just as fast as the medic bag, except you can move around. So I definitely recommend that. Engineer, I like RPG instead of the homing ones because it does more damage. And the repair tool. Support, I use either the C4, the decoy, or the UCAV. The UCAV is about to get nerfed, so I probably won't use that anymore. C4 is great for vehicles. Recon, it's not supposed to be on that. I use the PLD. This is fucking amazing. It basically is nighttime vision, and when you pull it up, you can see enemies perfectly. So I use that, and instead of having my gun out 24/7, I use that before I aim. And then once I see an enemy, I switch to my gun. And then I use the radio beacon. So that's the gadgets. My secondary weapon on all of them, at least now, I use the M1911. The Deagle is fucking amazing. Look at the damage on that shit. But and it used to be you could snipe people across the map with this gun. Like, I used my Deagle more than I used my assault rifle when it first came out. But they nerfed it, so I went back to the 1911. For me personally, I like this mini RDS scope. The Ghost Ring is pretty good too. Don't use this fucking 3x scope, it sucks. I like the tactical light because it's not on until you aim down the sights, and it kind of just gives you that extra second of disorienting your enemy. Muzzle brake, just because your bullets spread a little bit more. It spreads 30% more, but you don't get as much recoil, and I find that makes it way easier for me to land my shots and take them out. The M98B is by far the best one because it has the most bullet velocity. It goes the fastest, so you don't have to lead your shots as much. I use the 8x scope. I don't like these big ass scopes, and I like the actual sights on this one the best. Definitely use L3 to stop your breathing. I use the variable zoom. That way I can zoom in, I can make that scope 14 instead of 8 if I need to. The muzzle brake is just pointless on it because it takes so long to reload. You really don't have recoil, so you might as well hide the flash. Suppressors on the snipers, it's not worth it. You lose too much range for it. And by far, I mean, the bipod is good if you're camping, but I'm definitely an aggressive recon, so I use the straight pull. That way I don't have to let go of aiming down the sights to reload. It just reloads while I'm aiming. So the carbines, my favorite personally is the M4. It's just a burst rifle. It has a fucking 800 rate of fire, a normal size magazine, and the stats are right on par with the other ones. The SG553 is probably my second favorite, but the AK5C is probably the easiest and most well-rounded one to use. So it kind of just depends. I would try all of those out, the ones I just listed. DMR, this is the only one I use, the QBU88. It is fucking beast mode. It only has 10 rounds in the magazine, and I think that deters people from using it. But dude, you will go fucking beast mode once you max it out. If I had to choose another one, it'd probably be the MK11 Mod 0. Shotguns, I really don't play shotguns, but if I had to choose, it'd be the DBV12 or the DAO12. Support, by far my two favorite are the RPK12 and the RPK74M and the AWS. AWS is good for long range. The RPK12 and the 74M are good for up close. For engineer, the UMP45 is okay. It's a good starter until you unlock this one, the UMP9. This is the only one that I use anymore. By far the best. The only one I even contemplate using anymore is the SR2. This was fucking beast when it came out. 900 rate of fire, and it didn't have hardly any recoil, and you got hella range for it, even though the stat says it's not much range. But anyways, they nerfed that shit. So it's still good, but only good in very small maps. I definitely recommend the UMP9. Alright, assault rifle. This one took me a long time to figure out what I liked. AK-12 is great to start with. The SAR-21, by far the least fucking recoil. Look at that stability stat over there. But it shoots 600 rate of fire. So, you know, you're gonna lose most firefights unless you shoot first or you shoot them in the back. Then you'll win. But if you're going up against somebody with an AEK, you're gonna fucking lose no matter what. I don't care how good you are, you'll lose. I don't like the AEK. I hope they fucking nerf that shit or just get rid of it completely. Ace 23, I use this shit for the longest time. It is a great overall gun. You up close, far away, medium, great gun. F2000, really good. It's got a lot of recoil if you can manage it. It's really good. These right here are my two favorite. The L85A2. This is just a really cool gun to use. It's not, you know, it's not nothing super special. I just like the look of it. I like the way it shoots. It's really accurate. The only downside to this gun is the reload. The reload takes forever, especially if you run all the way out. That is a very long reload, and it gets me killed quite often. But by far, my favorite gun in the whole game is the AR-160. It has the least amount of recoil, I think. It's fucking super accurate. good for up close, far away. It has a short reload, has a a good rate of fire. It's just a fucking great gun. Real quick, I know this video is long and I only got 15 minutes before it cuts me off anyways. So for pretty much all my guns, if I'm using a close range, it's the hollow 1x, or not hollow, holo, however the fuck you say it. Hollow, I think. Or the PKAS. I kind of like the Coyote and the Fleur, but by far the hollow and then the PKAS. Now if I'm doing medium range, that's the only one I use, the Prisma 3.5. That's just a really nice looking scope. You got a lot of openness on the screen with that scope. Accessories, I don't really use accessories. The canted iron sights, I mean, those are cool to slap on, I guess. So for the barrel, it kind of depends on the gun, but 95% of the time I use a muzzle brake. I don't know if it's a placebo effect or what, but it definitely reduces the recoil, and I don't really notice, because I burst fire no matter what. I don't care what gun I'm using. You know, I bust out that burst fire. I don't just sit there and hold the trigger. I mean, I can and still stay pretty accurate, but I always burst fire just because I get a lot more kills that way. But yeah, the muzzle brake is great. If you have a gun where if you hold the trigger, so like for this gun, if I hold the trigger, you can see it goes up more than side left to right. But if you have a gun where if you're holding it and it goes like that, you're going to want to definitely equip the compensator. That will get rid of a lot of that. Flash hider, I mean, if you don't want to use one of these because it does give you a penalty to the accuracy of automatic fire, which like I said, it doesn't seem like it's much, then you would want to use this. On huge maps or Conquest, I do equip this heavy barrel. It makes it have a lot more recoil, but it's less bullet spread, and you get more range from it too. I kind of just have to burst fire a little bit more, just because it gives me that extra recoil. You can see how much higher it made me go up on that wall. Real quick, I'm almost done with the video. Underbarrel, I don't care which gun it is, I go angle grip or folding grip. They're both the same thing, just depends on which one you like style wise. Basically it reduces your first shot recoil by 33%, and since I burst fire, that means every time I let go of, you know, the button and I press it again, it knocks down my recoil by 33%. So that makes a big difference. Another quick tip, if you're in the middle of a fight, right before you run out of bullets, reload. Keep at least one in the chamber, because there's a short reload and a long reload. And the long reload will get you killed a lot more. See how he just pulled that back? That one he didn't. It makes a big difference. It doesn't seem like much, but it does. But yeah, that's the underbarrel. You know, like I said about the paint, I kind of just try to keep it simple so it blends in with the backgrounds. But yeah, that's about it, dude. Like I said, save your 100% and 200% for double XP events, and make sure you always have one of these equipped. It will make you rank up a lot faster, because like I said, dude, it takes me 1,000,000 points per rank to rank up now.